hello there and thanks for joining me. Not a co-op championship but rather a ranked online adventure. Every series I play one ranked adventure just to get this checked towards the completion bonuses. When it first came up I played the necessary amount of races and now we only need to do one and I just do the bare minimum to get the awards and the completion bonus. I do not like ranked adventures that much, I'm more fond of the normal online races. I usually stick to team adventures, but for ranked I did not want to depend on others, so this is a free for all ranked adventure. And this time I got an S1 race in winter on dirt. Thanks to the Johnson racing community I found out that the Mercedes-Benz SL65 AMG Black Series Forza edition is a very powerful beast, so that's what I chose. This championship is a dirt one, so it also features the dreaded free Roam Rush races. But rest assured, I shortened those up by speeding them up. And I only highlight, well, pretty much my mistakes and crashes, just to keep things interesting. But, as always, first race is a normal race, a dirt race. And for the first one, we get the Astmore Rally Trail, a point-to-point race where I start in third position. Lots of different cars, 3 Hoonigans, but all different ones, a couple of trucks and some rally cars. A nice mix. This stage has a lot of twisty corners, so let's see how well I and my car perform. Off we go. And I can pretty much retain my position. First tight corner allows me to pass the Hoonigan Focus. I'm now behind the Hoonigan Escort. The minimap shows a pretty tight pack at the front, but for now I keep my second position. The Ford GT takes a little peek and there's some shenanigans while unghosting, but nothing serious. And we keep our little train going. The Hoonigan Escort, then me in second place and the Ford GT in third. But the Ford GT seems to have, well, more power, a better driver, who knows, maybe better handling. All of which drops me down to third place, but it seems I can outbrake the Ford and the Hoonigan. It is not enough to overtake the Ford, but I do take second place away from the Hoonigan, only to give it back to him in the next corner. Well, I decide to do some cross-country redecorating whilst driving a rally race. Who said we men can't multitask? And we again have a train going on, but with a slightly different order. Ford GT, Hoonigan Escort, and then me. Up in third place, which happened to be my starting position as well. Let's see if that can be my finishing position. That would already be a nice result. However, I do feel the hot breath of the one up in fourth place. The Hoonigan RS200, a very powerful but just as tricky car, honing in on my place. I can barely keep him at bay and we still have some very tight corners coming up. I hope my car is better suited for this than his power beast. Well, it seems I even gain a little on the Hoonigan in front. But again, it's not enough. This turns out to be a very close race, even if there aren't that many shifts in position. It remains very exciting as the smallest mistake of any of us will immediately be punished by the others. All of us have to keep our heads down and just drive the best to our abilities. But then, the Hoonigan behind me. He wants to pass me, and he wants to pass me so badly that he hits the wall doing so, which slows him down, of course. Wall grinding is punishable by death in these online races. Fortunately, his death only applies to the engine power and only for a limited amount of time. All this did was give him a very short time in third place, but only to lose it again to me as we cross the finish line. The first race in this championship and I crossed the finish line in the exact same position as I started this race. A very nice result, podium position, and I'm happy with it. The Ford GT is in first place, the Hoonigan Escort in second place, me in the Merc in third place, and the Hoonigan RS200 did finish in fourth place. The exact same places as we had during most of the second half of the race. We have one quitter and only one that was unable to finish. So a very fun race with a very nice result. This is Forza Horizon at its best. There you have it. And look at that, a podium finish for me. Unfortunately, we now come to the not so fun part with the free Roam Rush race. This race starts near the highway and takes us up north past the mountain range. As I mentioned before, I'll be speeding up most of these races as it is just as fun to watch, I believe, as it is to drive, which is no fun at all. I do start in pole position, so that gives me a slight advantage. We go through the fields to reach the highway as soon as possible. And we arrive there with a nice little jump, and then I notice that the top end of my car is just not the best. I get overtaken by the Ford GT, no surprise there, but also by the Subaru with no handling, which allowed me to pass him for a very short time. You actually might have missed that if you blinked. And then it's time to take it cross country again, where I decided to follow the others as they seemed to know where to go to. I didn't. And then we slow it down to normal speed as I want to avoid trees while heading towards a jump, which makes me hit exactly the thing I wanted to avoid, a nice big tree. I respawn, do the jump once more and, well, hit another tree. That's how you do that, no? And there we go again, but I slow it down early as I want to show you all that this route takes you through the train tunnel, which allows us to go much faster than any other route. I did not know this. I usually go over the mountain range, but that is absolutely not a good idea. So if you didn't know this either, consider yourself educated now. And somehow I managed to get myself up into second place, but with a very fast hoonigan on my tail. He tried to mount me, but it was all too little too late. I keep my second position. The Ford GT again in first place. This time I'm in second and the Hoonigan Escort is in third place, while the Hoonigan RS200 sees himself in fourth place again. A very similar result to the first race. Me and the Escort just traded places. Lucky for me. Only us four seem to have finished this race. All others are most likely, well, stuck somewhere in the countryside as these things go. This championship is going very well for me so far. Second time I have a podium position. Championship results remain the same. There you have it. My second podium position. And then, lucky for us, we return to normal racing. And for this next race, we go to the Glen Rannoch Trail, which is the one that takes us up and over the mountain range, as I start in fourth place, while the two Hoonigans and the Ford GT take the three last positions. Will this be my chance? Will this be a first place for me? Or will I bottle it? We will find out soon enough as we start this race. This road has a nice thick snow blanket, which means it is slippery. Which means I hold out. And, well, maybe just a little bit too much. Yes, I can pass a couple of trucks, but we can already see the ghosted Ford GT blasting by. He is already here and driving away like we're statues, standing images of what should be racers. He is good. And then I am right on his tail in second place, and there I go past the Ford GT, but he has the cutback on me, a better racing line. And then we have, well, a very, very big Ram Rebel. He also wants a piece of the cake. Next corner is a little bit dodgy, a lot of people, some ghosted, all fighting for their or somebody else's place. But for now, I'm in 3rd place, trying to cling on to the leaders. And there is a Hoonigan RS200. And the Hoonigan Escort makes the party complete. The Ford GT missed the checkpoint as he disappears. I push the Escort a little bit wide as he pushes back, but he can get past me without too much trouble. I'm in 4th place, but knowing the Ford GT, that was probably not the last we've seen of him. And I take this corner very awkwardly. Meanwhile, the Ram Rebel is absolutely dominating all of us and making a run for it. 1 corner left and then we start the downhill section, which can be a very fast section, but the faster you go, the more risk you also take. I keep it in check, but so do the others. No unfortunate calamities on this hillside. Hairpin goes smoothly, but not very fast. I do not want to take too much risk now. And also this hairpin, nice and slow. And then we go to the corner that leads through the water, which can be very treacherous. So again, I go not too fast, which leaves me vulnerable for the Audi, which is right on my tail. I need to keep a very good pace for the last section of the race if I want to keep my position. The Audi keeps up, but does not really gain, although he comes very close a couple of times. The last straight towards the finish line, and I can keep him at bay as he slows down quite a lot. I did hit the wall ever so slightly, but I fear he must have hit it harder. And that, ladies and gentlemen, secures my 4th place in this race. We have some changes in the top. The Ram Rebel in 1st place, he has done very well. Then the 2 Hoonigans with the Escort just in front of the RS200, and I'm up in 4th. And the Ford GT finishes in 6th place, just behind the Audi in 5th. The Ford GT most likely is not too happy with this result, especially because he saw his race line be cut off by the Ram Rebel. The Ram Rebel took the corner very short and the Ford GT was on his inside, with no means of getting to the checkpoint. Top 3 results of the championship remain the same. The Ram Rebel now just in front of the Hoonigan RS200. Time for the next race. If you can call it a race, that is. Next up is another fast-forwarded free roam rush. Unfortunately, this time I'm not so lucky as I start near the end of the pack. The Hoonigan RS200 and the Ford GT both start in the top 3. The Hoonigan Escort, however, starts just behind me. In this free roam rush thingy, let's not call it a race, we will be using no roads whatsoever as we make our way towards Bamberg Castle. And we immediately behave like expert farmers as we plow through every field on our way to the castle. Must be a party over there.
400 yards,
and I try to be a party crasher early on, but the wall is too much for my car to overcome, so I continue my way to the castle. And that little jump is nothing. Wait till you see what I do over here. Crash, roll over like the good doggy that I am, and I land on my feet like a trained house cat. And now we head towards the finish line. And I have absolutely no words to describe what happens here. The finish line is in sight. I'm heading straight for it. And I get a nice little jump. And somehow that doesn't trigger the finish for me. It does trigger for the car on my tail, which makes it even more frustrating. And adding insult to injury, I'm not even able to finish at all. All of this sees me in 7th place. And to be honest, I was completely perplexed, but it was also funny as hell actually. But as this was free roam rush, the results were all over the place with major impact on the championship results. The Hoonigans in the top 2, the 4GT in 3rd, the Ram Rebel in 4th place, and me down to 5th. One race left to race, and I do need to make up for this poor result. If I want to gain some positions in the championship, the result I need is, well, I just need an excellent last race, and we can have a go at it in the Moorhead Rally Trail. Will I find myself on a podium position once more, maybe even a first place, or will I just not be able to keep it together against the Hoonigans, the 4GT or the Ram Rebel, who had a couple of good results these last 2 races? Well, luck is not on my side as I start in the very last position. We start, well, with a very long, fairly high-speed left-hander, followed by a sharp turn to the right. It is a tight pack, but somehow I do manage to get up in 6th place. And now the Subaru is just in front of me as we unghost. And then I can get the cutback on the Subaru. The Ford Escort just in front of me, but I can out-drag him. And over here I brake in time, unlike some others, but I do lose 1 place in all of the commotion. And the Subaru is back in front of me. But I do not want to hit him, so I brake, and well, that allows him to run away. In the next corner, keep an eye on the tractor on the inside, or more specifically the 4GT parked against it. 4GT versus tractor, well, we all know the outcome of that one. The outcome of that one is 1 place up for me. And if he's like me, a cursing, frustrating driver in the 4GT. Meanwhile, I'm still right on the tail of the Subaru. He went a little bit wide, I smile and go fly past him. But I immediately stop smiling when he retakes the place and the Ram Rebel gets his feet dirty as well. 3 abreast in a 90 degrees corner, well, that leaves me spinning out, hitting the wall, and also a little cleanup on aisle 3. 6th place for me, and even the 4GT was able to pass me. He recovered pretty well from his attempted intercourse with the tractor, as I attempt a sneaky shortcut, but that didn't help me turn in for the Mudkickers Adventure Park. The Hoonigan RS200 missed a checkpoint, so I gained back 1 place. I'm afraid of the landings in this park, and, well, we can see the Ram Rebel doing his best impression of a monster truck event. That is yet another position gained. I'm up in 4th. Can I gain more positions? Anybody else feel the need to do a little dance, make a little laugh, get down tonight? The Subaru in front is a bit all over the place, and I feel I should be able to get past him as well. And I do in this corner, up in 3rd place. A nice comeback in the later part of this race. I head towards the finish line and I cross it in 3rd place. A good result. I am happy, especially because I finish in front of the Hoonigan RS200 and the Ram Rebel. The 4GT still managed to finish first, even with his love-making escapade. The Hoonigan Escort is in 2nd place. What does this mean for the championship results? I managed to claw my way to 3rd place after the Hoonigan Escort in 1st and the 4GT in 2nd place. Positions 4 and 5 are for the Hoonigan RS200 and the Ram Rebel. Both have the same amount of points. That means I also have a podium place in this championship. I'm so proud as it brings me to rank 9. These were some very close races. A whole lot of fun, and I hope they were fun for you as well. If that is the case, please consider pushing all of the buttons below. Just randomly start clicking all over the place. That would actually make me laugh. A last little exciting thing as I get another wheel spin. Let's see what this brings me this time. It is a whopping 10,000 credits. That could hardly have gone any better. I hope to see you next time. Bye. Cheerio.